Okay, we're just gonna go over some camera settings and things you might want to think about. First thing is, how do we position the camera? Most of the time, it's gonna be in landscape position. And actually, when you read Tennessee RealTrack's listing, it says not to do any portrait style shots because they will accept them, but when they're online, it cuts the photo in half and it makes the photo smaller than it should be. Sometimes you do have to take a photo in this position, but it should be just a small bathroom, a small closet, something where it's a very small, narrow space. So very few photos need to be taken in this orientation. 99% of the time, you're gonna be right here shooting 3 walls, not corner to corner, but 3 walls. You're gonna be either off center or center. So this would be a center shot looking into the kitchen area. Then we're gonna do 2 brackets, one overexposed, even exposed, underexposed, and I like to do a flash shot in most cases. As far as a camera settings, I'm doing ISO 400. ISO 400, if you set on most cameras, ISO 400, I know when it's Canon, it will not be grainy at 400 because it's duplicating the pixels inside the camera, and it's not going to be grainy for 2 reasons. Because of the pixel duplication, as I understand it. Also your bracketing, by the time you put those 3 or 4 photos together, you'll have enough pixels there that you'll be okay. So ISO 400, f8, because that will open it up so you're letting more light in and you can shoot faster. F11 is stopped down a little bit too much and it will cause some glare, especially on lights like this. If you're at f8, you're not going to get a glare or a pinch light or a light flare. So f8 is best on most lenses. And I'm usually shooting at 12 millimeters. I'm on a crop sensor. I'm on a Canon 80D. Not the best camera, but it works for real estate photography. And I'm shooting most rooms around 12 millimeters. And I think that covers everything for basic camera setup. Height. We're going to talk about height. Most of the time you're going to be, when you start out, you're going to be at doorknob height. The logic is you're splitting the room in the middle. So if you think about when you sit in a chair and we're the halfway position, I guess these are maybe 8-foot ceilings. So you want to be about 4 foot height. So you're shooting the center of the room, then everything will be straight up and down and everything will be level as long as you're straight and level in camera. It shows the angles at the correct position. If you go too low, the room's gonna warp on you. If you go too high, it's gonna warp in on you. So if you're in the middle, everything should be straight and level. All right, this is about micro close-up shots. Do you need them? Do you not need them? I think you do not need them because I've had customers and homeowners, real estate agents tell me when you do a lot of close-up shots, like of little fireplaces like this, or if you come in and do, these are nice counters. Someone might say you could do close-up of the granite counters. These are brand new stoves, brand new microwave, brand new refrigerator, brand new sink. You could do close-ups of all of that, but let's say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 close-ups. And Zillow says you have about 3 seconds when someone's viewing a photo. If you waste someone's time when they're viewing these photos and they're not interested in close-ups, which is what I hear on the average real estate listing, they do not want close-ups. You're confusing the viewer, and the confused viewer will just move on to the next listing. You're also spending a lot of money and time on photos you don't need. So we are not doing close-ups unless it's requested, or if it's a trendy Airbnb and it has a really good vibe that would call for a close-up, then we would put on a 50 millimeter, go around and do close-ups, and just a few of them and add those in. But on a general real estate listing, no close-ups needed. Okay, we're gonna talk about mini blinds because we have overexposed mini blinds. We're gonna talk about the theory of why you tilt the mini blinds up. So you wanna tilt it up. So you can see right now it's overexposed. It's creating a light flash on the floor. And if that was a wood floor, that would be bouncing some ugly light up here. So we're just gonna tilt them, not straight, but up. So now the light is coming in, the sun's hitting here. It's bouncing up and illuminating the room. So that's why you tilt your mini blinds up and back. This video is about how to do a walkthrough video on your cell phone, which for basic real estate photography is fine. Some of the things we do is we do 60 frames per minute, so you're shooting at 60 frames. You're going to go move very, very slow. You're only going to film a 4-second clip or to 8 seconds, so probably about 8 seconds. I usually just take 2 slow steps, 1, 2, and I push in, and that gives me about 8 seconds. In post, we're gonna trim that up, we're gonna slow it down, and that'll be like 1 4-second shot that we'll save for the video. You're gonna start in the front of the house and just follow the traffic flow. Get your living rooms, your dining rooms, your kitchens, and your common areas. You're gonna get about 4 different clips, just like you would your photos. Some of your guest bedrooms, you can get by with 1 or 2 clips. A hallway bathroom, a small powder room, maybe 1 clip just coming out. Let's see, let me take my notes. We're gonna go over, I'm on the wrong page, let me flip over here. We're gonna do that next. Lights are on. Let's go through the lights. There's no light in that room that we were just in. So the first thing we did is went through and turned on the lights. Of course, we did that for the photos in this case. You're gonna make sure everything's straight the way you want it. We're just sitting here. So all the lights are on. If you want to get really cinematic, we're not gonna do that in this house. This is no one's living here. You can do little things like turn on the faucet. You can turn on the shower heads, but that's kind of advanced. In a basic house like this, where it doesn't have a lot of fancy fixtures, that sort of thing would not make sense, and we're not doing a cinematic video, we just do a basic video. So remember, you're looking at just getting a shot of the room. In your major rooms, your common areas, you're gonna get 3 or 4 shots. Your smaller rooms, 1 or 2 shots. All right, we're just gonna go over some of the basic moves. There are probably more, I'm sure there's more, but from my understanding and what I'm doing with my real estate photography, these are the most common moves. So we're kind of doing an in, so you're just doing 2 steps in, 1, 2, let the arms finish, and that'll get your 4 8 seconds. 2 steps, a little bit of push. That's an in. If you want to do a pull out, you just come in. You've got everything set up, everything's in focus, your white balance is the way you want it, and just go 1, step 2, pull back with the arms, and that'll give you about 4 to 8 seconds of good smooth footage. Then we're gonna slow that down. There is the orbit. You can do this, I'll just do it on the sink, where you do a fixed spot, and you just kind of hover around it, so it's a slight turn. So I'm gonna focus on the sink here, the faucet, and I'm just gonna orbit around it, count 1, 2, 3, 4, good, a little bit more. If we get 8 good seconds, we'll have 4 seconds of usable footage out of that. The next one is the crane. This works in a hallway bathroom. You can start high and come in low. We'll do it here on the sink. So this smudge, we're in a narrow hallway bathroom. We don't want to be seen in the mirror. We just start high, and we come down and low. That's a crane, and you can do a reverse crane, something like that right there. And you've got a coming in shot and an exit shot. Next one is a slide. You can slide to the right, slide to the left. We'll come over here and do it on the bar. We just want to, this is just an even slide. So it's not a pan, it's a slide to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, a few more seconds, and you're good to go. And you could slide it back to the right in another area. Okay. Now a pan would be a little bit different. A pan would be, you want to be in the room, and you're gonna just hold the camera and pivot it. That would be a pan to the right and a pan to the left. That's the most basic move, and it can be used, but you don't want to overuse it because it's, you want to complement a pan with a pan. So if you pan to the right here, and then you go over to the other side of the room, you want to pick up where your pan left off, you want to pan across the room. So 2 pans together complete a story. That's the idea. And you want to into pan, and then pick up a pan. I think that's, let's look at her. Crane, slide, orbit, pan, push in, push out. That's the basics. Okay, we're just gonna talk about some photography for drone footage. So drone photos and drone video, you wanna do them back to back together. So when you're doing your photos, you're gonna position your drone to where you want it. So you've got, this is an elevated photo on a house or just right at roof level. But now we do our photo. Now when we're sliding over to our next position for our next photo, we can just click video. Video's playing, and we can do our slide. We're gonna orbit a little bit and pick up about 10 to 20 seconds. I'm watching to see what I'm gonna not run into. I've got 15 seconds, that's good. Now I can position for my next photo, take my photo. Let's say that's it. Oops, take my photo. So the point is, between photo, sliding to your next photo, you can grab your video. So you can do your photos and your videos back to back. And when you're done, and it saves you time while you're doing both of those together back to back.
All right, this video is for photographers and videographers that are working with Real Estate Photographer Pro, and I just wanted to encourage you to do your homework before you go out to a photo shoot. I did a little bit of homework last night on a project, both projects that we're shooting today. 2 nice properties, 2 big orders, and a couple other things that are going on today. But one of them, they had ordered something that I wasn't sure if they wanted or even needed. And they had ordered a 3D animated walkthrough video where we scan the property, create a floor plan, and out of that information, we can create a 3D animated video. Big, huge, 5,000 square foot brick home in Brentwood, Tennessee. And I just thought that was not a product that usually fits that type of house, because usually that type of house is nice enough you want a real walkthrough video, not an animated walkthrough video. So I sent the information in 2 examples over to the real estate agent, and of course she wasn't sure, and she just needed to talk through it, and she really needs virtually staged photos for the upstairs. The downstairs is staged and ready, and then she wants to create a video slideshow. One of these take the photos and turn them into videos, which is kind of an old idea that's been updated, and she feels like that will get the impression she's trying to sell, and she's thinking she wants to portray this house as a nice house, but it doesn't look so nice now, and the animated video just takes it a little too far. Those work better for construction sites. So my encouragement is, look at your orders the night before. If you have any questions, let us know, and then we can get some clarification on the direction. Doesn't happen often, but sometimes there's just a little nuance of what needs to be done. It also helps you go to the property like you know what needs to be done before you get there. You've got it in your mind. You've got yesterday, you're over yesterday, and you're on with the new day, and just get you off to a good start, doing a little bit of homework the night before and being prepped and ready before you head out for the day.